Find out more at takeactiononradon.ca.
I'm Jacob Moore here with all your sports. Just a reminder, tune in to 705 Sports, Fridays at 4 p.m. Looking to get all your great sports content from a local perspective? Make sure to tune in to 705 Sports with myself and multiple different guests. We're going to go over local sports, national sports, and international sports, and of course, we're going to have fun. So make sure to tune in to 705 Sports, Fridays at 4 p.m. live on Facebook and on TV.
I'm Morgan Freeman. I'm not a doctor, but I trust science. And I'm told that for some reason people trust me. So here I am to say, I trust science and I got the vaccine. If you trust me, you'll get the vaccine. In math, it's called the distributive property. In people, it's called taking care of one another. Get the vaccine. Help make our world a safe place for us to enjoy ourselves again. Please.
I'm Jacob Moore here with all your sports. Just a reminder, tune in to 705 Sports, Fridays at 4 p.m.
I'm not sure when I will feel like myself again, and that's hard for me to admit. I got COVID. So many others died, and yet I'm lucky. I'm still here. But so are my long-haul symptoms. And even the best doctors and scientists don't know what to expect moving forward. But what they do know is that we now have a vaccine against this devastating virus. It is safe and
Good morning and welcome to First Local Mornings. You are here with Heidi and Craig, our weather specialist. Yes, bringing you right in here into the studio, much to my delight. So,
how was your weekend? Did you enjoy the weather?
Well, you know, a little bit rainy. Moments of brilliance, though, right?
Yes.
Because the sun did pop through, as you had predicted. Every now and then, you did get a brief respite from the dampness and the gray. And actually, I remember, like yesterday, at one point, I was looking out the window, and it was one of those unique moments when the sky was that leaden gray. But the sun burst through in the one area and caught, you know, because everybody's got their trees festooned with like Halloween stuff, and there was this little bit of white cotton floating, visual. And it got illuminated by the sun against the dark gray of the sky, and it was like a moment of like, wah!
Yeah, we even had hail yesterday. Did you see the hail?
I did not see the hail.
We had like about 30 seconds of hail yesterday.
What size were they?
Like that big. It was.
No, I missed it.
It was pretty big, but that's indicative of how cold the colder air that's coming in.
Well, there was a frost this morning.
There was?
Yeah, on the back of my car, not the front end, but the back end of the car did have frost. So I'm
could
going to
have more frost coming this week. But, before we get to weather,
have
you noticed the gas prices?
Yeah, I did.
Have you noticed how they were jumped up last week to
Yes.
149.9, and now they're back down to 144.9. So, and that was just for 2 days. So I'm asking, what warranted that 5-cent increase? What happened in the world that our gas prices shot up 5 cents for 2 days, and now they're back down to 144.9?
Short answer,
Yeah,
long weekend.
but it wasn't a long weekend.
Last weekend was.
But the gas prices jumped up last week. So there was a long weekend coming up. So,
Just because they can then.
yes. So should we get the weather?
Yes, let's get the
should I do
weather
my-
happening because it's,
Oh,
I'm
we
going to
gotta
have to bring out
We gotta
my...
go to the Heidi first for a couple of news bits.
A couple of news bits. Is that what we're calling them now? All right. Well, you know what, on a serious note, the police did investigate a death in the East End. So shortly before 8 a.m. on October the 16th, Sioux Online was alerted to a heavy police presence in the city's East End. So when they arrived, like when our reporter arrived, the police could be seen investigating a death in the parking lot of a building in the 100 block of Breton Road. In the moment, details such as were available were few. We did promptly reach out to Sault Police Services for comment, and we awaited any information that could be provided. Eventually, within about a half an hour, the communications manager, Lincoln Loudett, did confirm that this was a sudden death, and an investigation had commenced and was ongoing. So, yeah, as details become available, we will, of course. You know what, honestly, Jacob, I'm not sure which camera I'm supposed to be looking at, so I'm trying not to look at the monitor. Which is that one? Okay, this one. Okay, there we go. Now we've got that all straightened out. So as information does become available, and now that I know where I'm looking, we will, of course, keep you updated. So that is that. There was also a protest that was held outside of the Davy home amongst, and that's pretty close to the hospital as well, and this had to do with a group of interested individuals protesting the anti-vax stance, which is, of course, becoming a fairly common complaint of recent days. So we did get some comment from several of the people who were participating in the anti-vax protest. And again, it was held opposite the retirement residences, so Cedarwood, the FJ Davy, and of course in response to the federal government imposing the mandate on all federal employees as well as healthcare workers. In most cases, many have complied or were already vaccinated, but for others, the forced mandate is a matter of freedom of choice, okay? So the story was put out on SiouxOnline.com. Dan, of course, did attend the anti-vax rally, and here's some footage.
We're here for the nurses. We're here for all the government workers.
Today is basically a formal apology to the nurses and the PSWs here that lost their job, all due to the fact that they took their liberties of non-consent and they exercised them. These were the very same people who 4 months ago were hailed as heroes. Today, they're unemployed.
Over 6,000 doctors all saying the same thing. We made a mistake. We have to stop this now. At the same time they're speaking up, you have the government saying we're going to vaccinate the kids 5 and up.
So people don't feel comfortable with a mRNA experimental drug that's never been thoroughly tested. We've got myocarditis at astronomical rates in our youth who have been subject to this forced, what I call forced, there's no consent. You think a kid that's 12 years old can consent? They can't drink, they can't vote, but we give them the right to make their own decision about their health, and they have no idea about all the ingredients in it. Is it conformed consent? I disagree, it's conformed consent.
Definitely a very controversial topic, of course. You can watch the full video as well as read the full story online at SiouxOnline.com. You can actually join in the conversation, as it is predicted to be a lengthy and robust ongoing debate. And feel free to let us know your thoughts on the big stories of the day, any story really, this or others. So in this moment, we are going to head over to Craig to get some more details on the weather, you know, because I think it's starting to feel like I need to bring out my windshield cover.
Well, you'll definitely be needing it later on this week, Heidi. But tomorrow we are seeing temperatures around 20 degrees, and we will get on that in the 3-day forecast. But right now, we have nothing to worry about as far as precipitation for today. That was all swept away yesterday and left us with some pretty brisky winds from the northwest and cooled our temperatures definitely for sure. I mean, our temperatures this morning are only about 4 degrees. We'll take a look at your 12-hour forecast and what we are looking like, and this is what we look like. 4 degrees right now with sunny skies, or at least the sun is starting to come up, and breezy conditions later on this afternoon. Those northwest winds are going to kick back in. 16 degrees though for our high, and also 14 degrees for your evening. Again, those winds will carry on into the evening, dropping down to 6 degrees overnight, and then we have another beautiful day in store for Tuesday before we start seeing some changes coming in our weather, and I'll do that in just a couple minutes. Right now, we're sending it right back to Heidi.
Well, thank you for that, Craig. You know what? So I was, poring over the news this morning. Something did catch my eye because I was very excited that they were running that. Hey, wow! Look at that. There's like weather behind me. Fantastic. So now I'm going to read some news with, memories of the weather behind me. Okay, Jacob. All right. So we did bring you coverage this summer of the Pointe de Chêne, which was a pilot project, the bus sending people to Pointe de Chêne. Now they are saying that project has lost money. So a staff report asking for $11,000 to cover projected costs of the bus next season identified ways for the service to be better. So staff did report to council that an average of 19 users per day used the bus this summer, bringing in $114. When questioned about the total cost to operate the bus by Councillor Bruni, who the Director of Community Services, Brent Lamming, said the bus cost $464 per day to run. Okay, so Bruni then asked, as a councillor would, what will the $11,000 cover? And Lamming did respond that this would cover the cost of the pilot, including wages and fuel and maintenance, which would enable the running of the program from late June until just after Labor Day next year. So it'll be referred to budget. So you know what? An all-in cost, that $11,000. Support coming in from other councillors. Councillor Shoemaker thinks it's a great program and appreciates some of the changes, including reducing trips and cancelling trips on rain days that staff did suggest for next year to kind of mitigate the costs. And Mayor Provenzano also believes that the bus is a good idea. Okay, so as this motion was actually presented on the consent agenda and that agenda was passed, the $11,000 will now be debated during budget season. Okay. We're going to take a break at this moment so that we do have an opportunity to hear from some of our support board sponsors. We are very grateful to the support from the business community that continues to come in. I would wet my whistle, but I have burned through my coffee already. So from my heart to yours, go fill your cup and come on back.
First Local, supported by the Canadian Bush Plain Heritage Centre, where adventure takes off. First Local, supported by Gary Chervinsky, Exit Realty, Lake Superior. Buying a home is a big decision, so is choosing the right agent. Call Gary Chervinsky, broker at Exit Realty, Lake Superior, 705-257-5432.
When I found out I had cancer, it was the hardest day of my life. But life is bigger than cancer.
First Local, supported by United Way. Help make your community a better place. Show your local love and donate today. Good morning and welcome back to First Local Mornings. It is Monday, October the 18th. I don't even think I told you that earlier, so in case you're counting on me to let you know what the day is, I kind of blew it on that note. But anyway, there are a few announcements today. There are very few details as to what they are related to. Monty McNaughton, the Minister of Labour, Training and Skills Development, is being joined by some other parliamentary individuals to make an announcement about protections for workers. That is coming up at 9 a.m. And then at 1:30, Premier Ford is making an announcement and is to be joined by Christine Elliott, the Deputy Premier and Minister of Health, to make an announcement. So we will, of course, bring you information as to what these announcements are as soon as they become available. So do keep your eyes tuned to SiouxOnline.com to see any updates with regards to those particular announcements. Okay. So back to local then. The Sault Ste. Marie Chamber of Commerce team has transitioned to a hybrid model of work and member engagement. I know, I was interested too. So they are advising the membership that the Chamber team members have now transitioned to this hybrid model of work and member engagement. So this means then that staff will now complete their administrative roles from home-based virtual offices. So, following the trend that many other businesses have opted for in these challenging and unprecedented times. The Chamber will continue to host its popular lineup of community and member-based events in person as the province's reopening guidelines will permit. They are looking forward to reconnecting with their membership and the business community again as the COVID-19 protocols permit. So again, this transition that they're announcing is not particularly new, and they do acknowledge that. And they actually further go on to say that most Chamber team members have been working from home-based offices for the majority of the past year. But again, formalizing the decision to transition to this model for the foreseeable future. So members, you should see no change in the level of service that you have been accustomed to from the Chamber of Commerce. So as more information becomes available, again, we will keep you up to date with regards to that. But, following the trend that so many other businesses have opted for. Okay. So that's a lot of news. I want to hit you in this moment with a factoid. I want to talk to you about this date in 1956. So October 18th, 1956, Elvis was in a brawl at a gas station. That's okay. Jacob does not have footage, but who wants to see Elvis marked up and bloodied? I'm going to bring extra oomph to the reading then. Okay, so singer Elvis Presley gets into a fight with a gas station owner and an employee. So not just one, but two people. Elvis is going to take them both on. So he had driven into the gas station to have his have his car checked, and as he was getting ready to leave, a group of young girls stopped him to ask for autographs, because of course it's Elvis, you're going to do that. So while signing the autographs, the gas station owner asked Elvis to move his car so other cars could come in and get gas. When Elvis didn't move his car, a scuffle ensued, with the gas station owner and Elvis exchanging blows. A gas station employee then joined in to help the owner. They were all three of them arrested. The gas station owner was fined $25. The employee was fined $15 for taking the law into their own hands. The charges against Elvis were dismissed. You don't need footage for that. There's no image for that. Come on, Elvis. What? Well, that'll do. There he is, circa 1956. I like to, wherever possible, when I'm doing my factoids, make sure that the images that we offer up are related to the year that I am talking about. Well done, Jacob, for coming up with that image under pressure. Okay, I'm sorry, I missed the count. How much time? 3 minutes. All right. Okay, so we will talk a little bit about with the rollout of the vaccination passport, there has been some talk about, people who qualify for medical exemptions and what those medical exemptions can mean. I don't have solid answers for you on that, although we do continue to follow those developments very carefully. What I can tell you is that if you have an allergy to vaccinations, many experts are indicating that past reactions in many cases are not a valid reason for exemptions. So this did come in an article with Dr. Miriam Hanna, and she had noticed an uptick in requests for allergy assessments in her Burlington, Ontario clinic after the province began implementing the COVID-19 vaccine certificates last month. So whether people had held off on getting vaccinated because of a past reaction or are seeking an exemption to the inoculation mandates, Hannah said a previous allergic response doesn't mean that you can't get your shots. Okay, so listen now. Allergists across the country have safely inoculated most patients who come into their clinics, regardless of their allergy history, she said. Okay, so Hannah said that many of the patients she assesses are concerned about previous reaction to non-COVID-19 vaccinations. But because the mRNA jabs from Pfizer, BioNTech, and Moderna are different from typical inoculations, those past reactions don't usually come up again. So other patients have indicated some concerns with regards to receiving a second mRNA dose if they had an adverse reaction to the first. But she also said that many patients mistake common non-life-threatening reactions, including rash or swelling at the injection site, for an allergy. And so she specifies it's only the very, very few patients that have had a systemic reaction, and it typically occurs within 15 to 20 minutes of receiving the first dose. And those are the ones that we want to be careful with. Most of the side effects that are expected with a vaccination are not contraindications for exemption. Okay, so allergists are sometimes the only way that can clarify. They assess patients in specialized clinics. They take into account full history to determine if the severity of a previous allergy experience and determine whether or not it was in fact an allergic reaction at all. So there you go. You can't necessarily be exempted just because of a past allergic reaction. We are counting down to another commercial break so that everybody can take a chance to listen to our support board sponsors and hurry back to me. I've got more information.
Family owned and operated, A.G. Quinnell Well Drilling has been serving Sault Ste. Marie and surrounding area since 1968. For a free estimate, call 705-779-3909. A.G. Quinnell Well Drilling, available for all your water needs. 1944, 2nd Line West, Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. A.G. Quinnell Well Drilling. Call 705-779-3909 for a free estimate today. First Local, supported by Tenaris Algoma Tubes. Kickstart your career. Tenaris is rapidly growing in Sault Ste. Marie and looking for individuals interested in rewarding production and technician roles. If you are ready for a progressive career opportunity with benefits in advanced manufacturing, then please send your resume to resumes@tenaris.com.
First Local, supported by The Refinery, the leader in women's fitness and transformations. 624 Wellington Street West in Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. Call 705-255-8895 for more information. Good morning and welcome back to First Local Mornings. It is Monday, October the 18th. I am out of coffee. Levels of caffeination are dangerously low. I want to talk to you. I watched a movie yesterday, and it's, I'm really trying hard now to get more current with what is being shown. So we had talked to you about the advent of Dune 2021, which is a remake, of course, of the movie that originally came out in the 80s, based on a novel by Frank Herbert that was put out in 1965. So this, of course, this version being directed by Denis Villeneuve, or Denis Villeneuve en français, with a screenplay by John Spates, has a dynamic cast. We are talking Rebecca Ferguson, Oscar Isaac, Josh Brolin, Stellan Skarsgård, and Jason Momoa, which was an unexpected perk for me, Javier Bardem. But anyway, a very, very worthy watch. Now, this, of course, is just part one of a two-part series, but cinematically brilliant. The scenescapes are you know, it was filmed in various locations: Budapest, Jordan, Norway, Abu Dhabi. So you can imagine the sweeping landscapes. And of course, it does follow the story of a young man who is very gifted. There are a lot of references, you know, to an almost, well, it's just, I run short of words. I'm going to give it a solid 5 out of 5. I highly recommend that you take in June 2021, okay? Following Paul Atreides, as he and his family, the noble house Atreides, are thrust into war for the dangerous desert planet Arrakis. Okay, so for those of you who are not familiar with the story, futuristic, science fiction, but beautiful, so well written and so well performed. Okay, enough of that. Who cares what Heidi's watching? We might care what Craig has to offer us in the long-range forecast. Over to you, Craig.
And thanks very much, Heidi. And we are in for a bonus day today and also tomorrow, because we're going to have a strong surge of warm air and some clear conditions for at least the beginning of the week. You can see it clearly here. All this activity is making its way around a very strong high pressure system, which is going to build over the next couple of hours and also into the next day or so. We'll show you radar. Anything to worry about? Nothing really to worry about at this moment. We have a couple of specks showing up. Nothing that's going to hit the Sault today, because we are very clear under that high pressure system. So let's take a look at temperatures. Not bad. I mean, considering that we were down to about 12, 13 degrees on the weekend, we're back to 16 today, 14 in Wawa, 10 in Timmins, and 16 in Sudbury. And we're going to see those temperatures even increase over the next 24 hours. And then we have some surprises coming our way. I'll get to that in just a bit, but here we are for today. So here's that high pressure system. It's building. This whole area is under high pressure, which means it's going to be the warmth of the air is going to build during the day today. So expect to hit that 16 degree temperature sometime around 3 o'clock this afternoon. And those are going to actually hit 20 degrees for tomorrow, but we are watching this system. This one could be a game changer coming in late Wednesday into Thursday. It's packing some snow and also some very cold temperatures. But this is what we look like for the next 3 days. For today, just sunny skies, 16 degrees, 20 degrees tomorrow. We could even inch up to 21 for tomorrow with sunny skies. And then we start seeing the clouds come back in. Look at the temperature difference on Wednesday, 13 degrees. And it's going to get even colder over the next couple of days into our weekend. And that's where I have to start mentioning the S word, the snow. We could see some snow develop later on this weekend, and definitely in areas north, Wawa, Timmins. You're under the gun for some snow as well. I'll tell you more about that coming up on the 7-day forecast at the end of the show. Right now, we're sending it right back to Heidi.
Thanks, Craig. I love a long-range forecast that touches on our friends up in Wawa. What do I want to talk to you about now? You know what? I'll touch on the COVID numbers because some people do actually tune in to hear about that. Nothing new to report to you locally since Friday, so good. Rolling totals locally then, 171,223 tests have been administered, out of which we have confirmed 483 cases, 8 of which are considered to be active. We do have 1 individual in the hospital. Provincially, yesterday the province did report 443 new cases of COVID-19, no additional deaths linked to the virus. So the Minister of Health spokeswoman, Alexandra Haikeen, says that 1 death was removed from the count for data cleaning purposes, bringing the number of Ontarians who have died from the virus to 9,813. Okay, so there that is. Something else that I noticed that I thought was particularly interesting, there's a new program coming out of Calgary. An organization called My First Bicycle Foundation. They're launching a new program that will operate throughout Canada, in which financially disadvantaged children can now receive a brand new bicycle, helmet, and lock from the First Bicycle Foundation. So applications will be accepted in the spring of 2022, and bikes will be shipped in May and June of 2022. So to qualify for this program, you must complete the First Bicycle online application in full. The child's household income must meet the low income cutoff as published by the CRA. For further details, please visit either our website, where I have included a very handy hyperlink, or you can go to www.myfirstbicycle.ca, all one word, all lowercase. So there that is. One more tiny little factoid before we hop into social media. It was on this day, October 18th in 1966, that the Batmobile was patented. So the creator of the Batmobile from the TV show Batman, Mr. George Barris, patents his creation. He built it from a Lincoln Futura concept car. So there you have it, the legitimate patenting of the Batmobile. All right. Let's see what's happening in social media. We did have a few people popping up. Margaret McKegg beating everybody to the punch. Good morning, Margaret. She says, good morning, all. Jim Whitty, Monday morn, the week reborn. Look at you, you poet. Witchy, witchy man. Good morning to you, Jim. Merci beaucoup. Happy Monday. Have a great week. Sending love from London. We receive your love, merci, and we send it right back to you and yours. Bradley, good morning, with 3 exclamation points and a peace sign. Good morning to you, Brad. Catherine Howard, are you a new commenter, maybe a new viewer? I don't think I've seen your name before, so welcome aboard, Catherine, and thank you for watching, and thank you for commenting. Jim Whitty, good morning, Brad. Jim Whitty, people keep telling me it's weird to look up the Pillsbury Doughboy, but I think he's a great role model. Yes. Matt and Ruth Christensen, good morning. Have a beauty-filled day. Good morning to you, Ruth. Bradley says, good morning, Jim. Merci beaucoup. Seriously amazing show today. Hilarious. Well, thank you. We do our humble best and we try hard. Joseph Bertrand, our friend from Maker North. Enjoy your Monday, everyone. Ooh, he has his own factoid. Joseph at one time did work for City Transit. And he has said, did you know that City Transit creates the second largest income at City Hall next to taxes? Ooh, there's a factoid for you. Inika, all the way from the Netherlands. Good morning, everyone. 3 exclamation points. And Anna Brasso, also, I'm going to say a new viewer, or at least a new commenter. Good morning. Enjoy your day. Yourself as well. Anna, thank you for watching. Thank you for commenting. Enjoy your day. Oh, there's one more. Oh, Karen Bridges. Oh, no Chris today, but we've got Karen. And Karen says, good morning, ladies. Good morning to you, Karen. And thank you for popping up. All right, well, moving right along then, we will, what? Yeah, we're going to have to go to Craig soon. Yes, you threw me there, Jacob. Goodness sakes alive. So why don't we hop over to Craig and we'll just kind of round out the show.
Well, we're going to take a look at the 7-day forecast. You know, we're at this time of year where we're seeing it's going to be warm and then cold, then warm, then cold, and there's that battle going on. And it's definitely showing up this week with this battle. If we look at the 7-day forecast, you see we go from 20 right down to 9 degrees, but notice the overnight lows are getting pretty chilly, and areas to the north, Wawa and Timmins, are under the gun for some accumulating snow starting Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. That might come our way starting Friday.
All right.
Not that we're going to see accumulating snow, but it's going to be a sloppy mess of wet snow and rain. Just beautiful weather for to end off October, but we're holding our own as far as temperatures go.
Okay. Well, it feels like it's almost time for me to take my air conditioner out of my window.
I should do that too.
Yeah. Well, okay. Well, you know what? I think actually, do you have anything more? Because I'm kind of done.
I don't think so. We'll be back tomorrow, right?
We'll be back tomorrow, and bringing you more local news and general good vibes. So, thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.
First Local, supported by James Seaton, Mortgage Specialist. Your new home doesn't come with mortgage advice. I do. Call James Seaton Mortgage Specialist, RBC 705-975-1519.
Just once in a while, at parties and stuff. If that's what your kid says, they'll probably also tell you that it's not a big deal. But that's no reason not to talk about it. You could tell them that you think that's a good thing and that you're really happy they don't use it that often. Then ask them why. Maybe deep down they know it's bad. They just need your help realizing it. From there, it should be pretty easy to drop off the hint that their brain is still growing and that they shouldn't smoke pot. At least not until they're older.
Visit drugfreekidscanada.org for more tools to help start the conversation.